and the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and it is Friday with a special bonus wrestling toy news. We did it last week. We're doing it again this week, having to separate all the other news from wrestling as there is a lot of wrestling news to dive into this week. With All In Weekend with AEW, of course, the major pod doing a quasi-live show with some announcements. A lot of stuff to talk about, and I figured I'd do a separate video. So here we are on Friday with a wrestling-specific toy news. And of course, got to thank our sponsor, Jay'sToysAndGames.com. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 15% on all in-stock items. A lot of good stuff, and you'll see some of that in weekly purchases this week, of course. And also, real quick, before we get too into it, Patreon. Got to plug the Patreon giveaway this month. A double dose of Hulk Hogan. Target exclusive Hulk Hogan's is the July Patreon. Check out the Patreon, your best way to support the channel. Plenty of content to keep you busy, including my new podcast. You get early access to everything we do between both channels and my podcast. And my podcast this week, special co-host, guest, Midwest professional wrestling legend, Gage Octane is in the house. So check out, hear about his movie career, his wrestling career, his action figure collecting career, and all that and a whole lot more. Check out Gage Octane, available on Patreon right now as we speak, or Tuesday, wherever podcasts are found, with video cast on YouTube. But one more giveaway around the podcast. Mr. Octane didn't need a second Muda, so I said, okay, I'm going to give it away, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to give away this great Muda WWE Superstars figure. I had to buy two of these loose to, of course, display both heads on that. So you can do the same thing if you already have this one. But all you got to do to enter into the giveaway is find The Kyle Peterson Show on whatever podcast platform you use. Give the podcast a 5-star review, screenshot your review, and email it to TheKylePetersonShow@gmail.com. And I will pick one winner in the following week's podcast when my wife Angie returns. And of course, you guys know my wife Angie broke the internet last week in weekly purchases. I didn't put her up to it. Some people said Kyle forcing him. That was all her, 100% on her. She does what she wants to do. She's her own woman, let me tell you. She's all woman, that's for sure. She chose to do that, and we all enjoyed it. But she'll be back in a week, and we will give away this great Muda, TheKylePetersonShow@gmail.com. Screenshot your review for your chance to win. But now we're going to dive in to all the wrestling news, and we're going to start with AEW Jazzwares. Of course, All In Weekend. Busy weekend for wrestling fans. All In, NXT, Evolution, Saturday night's main event, SmackDown tonight. There's a lot going on to keep you busy in the wrestling circles. But All In, a lot going on. And I did tell you guys there was going to be some stuff. And what do you know? The prophecy came true here. Now we look to San Diego Comic-Con for Jazzwares and every other company as well. But San Diego Comic-Con, we'll see more Jazzwares reveals. So buckle up for that. But we did finally see the Sting pack. And I said, some people have been calling me out on Twitter. I posted, you'll get your Sting. Well, here it is. I told you it was coming in a roundabout way. 1 of 6,000 edition, $100 Jazzwares Vault exclusive. Head over there. I ordered one. I might go back and get another one. I feel like I need a mint on card version of this. I'm a little stinger after all. You guys know me. I'm a little stinger, but a fabulous pack here. The middle one, I guess we'll call it the middle one. That's the Sting we were looking for with the WCW kind of longer hair there. All in all, good. I want all the Stings. Give me all the Surfer Stings. I'm not dismissing any of this. I guess the later year Sting is a little bit been there before, but enough meat on the bone here for a fan of Sting like myself to pick this one up. But there's always going to be some complaints out there, but a fun pack right here. Definitely an amazing box set for Sting. So available on Jazzwares Vault, possibly still available, maybe sold out. Time will tell, I guess. But we weren't done. The Vault with some surprise announcements. We got the Briscoe brothers back again. Each of them 1 of 3,000 Ring of Honor editions. Makes a lot of sense. A lot of people missed out on those last Briscoes. A little bit harder to find. Get them back out there in a different gear. And they look really, really good. So the Briscoes available 1 of 3,000. And then Okada, of course, up on Pro Wrestling Tees. I believe still there as I'm filming this. Your mileage may vary. 1 of 3,000 Okada figure. I guess this will be his first figure officially. I guess that's what it'll be from the Jazzwares team. So we got that one from Pro Wrestling Tees. So you got to go to shop AEW, pick that one up there. So we did get those up for sale, and I guess shipping right away for all 3 of those. So that should be pretty fun. But we weren't done. We did see Unmatched Series 12. So a lot of people have been wondering about this. We're getting Mercedes Moné. Good to get her. Where's that Pro Wrestling Tees exclusive of her? That feels like we ordered that 100 years ago. But which one's going to come first? I guess we'll see. But we got Mercedes Moné. Juice Robinson. A lot of people looking for the juice. They want the juice loose, of course. Juice Robinson coming in there. We got Roddy Strong. Good to get Roddy Strong represented in a lineup. John Moxley, no stranger, probably going to be the worst selling of the bunch, I would think. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. But then the one I'm really looking forward to is a double dose of the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Todd, you and Rick partied at that hotel not too long ago, didn't you? Oh, yeah, you've been wearing Depends ever since? I don't know if that's true. But that's a good joke from Todd McFarlane on the couch. But we got a double dose of Ric Flair. It looks like the blue is going to be the Chase edition. Blue robe, pink robe, playing all them robe hits. I need both of these. I would love to have a mint and a loose version of each one of these. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm very excited to get a classic Nature Boy Ric Flair in the Jazzware scale. Give me the classic Sting, and oh boy, it's 1989 all over again. We'll see what happens there. But very cool to see this stuff. And like I said, we'll see some more stuff at San Diego Comic-Con. We know they got the Swerve exclusive for that. More stuff to come, more stuff to be announced. Pretty fun. But we're not done there. We got the Major Pod, who also did a semi-live show at the event, and they did officially announce, and this was hinted at maybe a month ago on the Major Pod podcast, and kind of hinted towards this direction, and it was officially announced today, AEW figures. Now we got Smart Mark coming in the traditional Jazzware scale. Now we got Big Rubber Guys AEW figures. Looks like we can go either direction. They could go both ways. So I think the floodgates are open from the Major Pod group or the Major Bendy's Big Rubber Guys. We're going to see a lot more of that stuff in the future, but they're starting it off with Timeless Tony Storm. I can see some people saying, well, I'm not a completist. I only want classic Big Rubber Guys. Now you're getting more modern guys in the mix, and we've had a few modern guys peppered in, Ethan Pages of the world, and of course, Matt and Brian as well. But it'll be interesting to see how Timeless Tony Storm sells. All day long, you know there's going to be a variant. There's going to be a regular colored version and a black and white one. It writes itself. Got to get the most out of your molds. So just be prepared for both of those in the future. But I think a lot of us are looking towards a classic Jim Ross. We're looking towards a classic Sting, who they had, of course, on the podcast episode. And I think I even said a couple of weeks ago when they said they were going to have a guest, I figured it would be Sting. That just kind of felt like it felt right. Very, very cool to see Sting over there with the Major Pod. I still can't get used to Sting with a beard either. That's just strange to me for whatever reason. And I'm a guy that loves facial hair, especially real hair, Todd McFarlane. But I am fully expecting a Surfer Sting from the Big Rubber Guys. Licensed to print money. You'll probably get a Surfer Sting. You'll probably get a Crow Sting. Wouldn't be shocked to get an AEW Sting. There's a lot of Stings to come. You know, the Major Bendy's crew over there, they got to be very excited about this partnership here. And I guess who knows where it goes. Clear your shelf space if you're all in, because there's going to be a lot of figures. And we're not done. They also announced this week 1 of 500 WrestleCon edition Matt Cardona. So we're getting a repaint of that one. Got to pick that one up as well. Also, they did show an image of Bad News Brown. It looks like Bad News and the Rock and Roll Express finally getting to about ready to be delivered. It sounds like Bad News shipping very soon. Rock and Roll shipping right behind them. There have been some delays there, but they've, you know, you reach out to them, they tell you what's going on. Not like our friends over there at Power Town, who we love to talk about as well. But Power Town, we'll get to them. But looking really good with the Bad News. Very, very cool. And we got more bad news, if you can believe it, in this very episode here. But looking very good from the Major Pod, looking very good at All In. We'll see how the pay-per-view goes, see what other surprises are in store. And like I said, San Diego Comic-Con right around the way. A lot more news to come for that as well. But now we dive over to Zombie Sailor Toys. And Zombie this week showing a little bit of bad news as he showed Pinnacle Collection Series 2, Bad News Brown. I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited for this Pinnacle line. But man, oh man, it's been years at this point. He's been talking about this without any figures in our hands. I'm still a little bit uneasy. I wouldn't say uneasy, because Zombie has came through. He has delivered multiple times. He's had delays. He's had issues. Sandman, looking at that. Apparently Sandman Retro shipping next week. So everybody can finally breathe a sigh of relief. That was the 4th of July exclusive last year. And we're getting it this year after 4th of July. But they had issues. They had quality control problems. And I think we're all happy we get a good figure instead of something that's going to break or have issues. No doubt about it. So we are getting that in the next week or so. But where is the Pinnacle stuff? He's never put them back up for pre-order. I am hopeful. I haven't heard anything else, so I'm going to just keep going with it. But the end of this year, we're supposed to have Pinnacle Series 1 in our hands. I hope that is the case. we're going to wait and see, I guess, where that ends up going. But sounds like Series 2, Bad News Brown coming. So I'm hoping he's working in the background, and Series 2 is going to be in our hands pretty quickly right behind Series 1. I guess we'll see what ends up happening there. But it's been a long wait for this Pinnacle series. It'd be interesting to see, will we get a Regium figure or a Pinnacle figure first? That's going to be the $1 million question. And as of filming right now, no Regium news from Grapplers and Gimmicks. I think they were supposed to have an announcement this week. Just missed the news. That's what happens. They got to do it on Friday. You got to give me the news on Friday, guys. There you go. But that's a little Zombie Sailor update this week. And now it's time for a little bit of a Power Town update.
Are you ready for pain? Are you ready for suffering?
Not really, no update from Power Town once again, but it is summertime, so they could be shipping any time here. But hopefully the Remco is going to be an airplane. We'll see what ends up happening, but we've been talking about them every single week, giving updates like we do with all these other companies, and I've been saying the same stuff. I've been very consistent for the last 2 years. We have a lot of fun with Power Town, but there's some serious issues that we definitely see with Power Town in all the videos, all the discussion we have had. And I guess it's nice to be a little bit... I don't know, vilified, or is that the right word? I need to go to my thesaurus, Todd McFarlane. But I've been saying this stuff for a long time, so it's great to see many of people outside of this audience coming to the same conclusion. It might have took them a lot longer to get there, but it's nice to see that across the board. It's just really unexcusable what this company has been done to us poor collectors. And I get it, at the end of the day, there's worse things in the world for sure. But whenever there's money on the line, I don't need, once again, I said it last week, I don't need a daily update. I don't even need a weekly update, but they need to tell us what's going on, and they need to be truthful in the fact. And we've caught Power Town, unfortunately, in numerous lies over the last year. We've had broken figures, we've had issues, we've had make good figures, we've had coins thrown at us, we've had different delays. There's been so many shenanigans. It is nothing short of a conspiracy. We joke about it. I said it before. There's more than meets the eye here. We're not talking Transformers, Todd McFarlane. There's something going on with them. Going to be very interesting how this all ends up netting out. I just hope we get these Remcos here this month. I'm not going to hold my breath, though, unfortunately, as much. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Fool me 3 times, you just keep on fooling me, and then eventually you won't get fooled again, like a young Pete Townsend is what I've been told. But Power Town, man, it's tough. I just don't see how they will ever recover from this. Unless they go to straight in-stock stuff, that's the only way they're getting out of this mess. Just a wild, wild time. Wild, wild time like the Wild, Wild West. That's what it is. But that's our Power Town lack of update this week. But a lot of people screaming out there in the Facebook groups and stuff. A lot of complaints. And you guys, us, we've been talking about it for 2 years. Good to see everybody else come around to the Power Town issues. But now, moving into some more of these third-party companies here, we're going to go to Title Run Toys, who I did miss the pre-order window on the first series. I guess I'll see if I pick those up. We'll see what happens. Could be the first retro line I miss out on. We'll see what ends up happening there. But they did announce Mike McGurk this week. An interesting one. Of course, Leroy McGurk, her father once upon a time. Mike McGurk, a former ring announcer in the WWF way back when. A lot of people, if you're from that era, know her. So it'd be cool to get a figure of her. No issues there. Looks like they're going to have maybe a variant edition. One red, one blue. And then more to be announced probably the next couple of weeks. So we'll stay tuned for those announcements as well. We saw Top Rope Collectibles. They do the Galoob style figure. We did see Norman rendered this week, so they're showing a little bit more of that as we work our way to get Norman the Lunatic in our collection. And not the last we're going to talk of Norman in this video. Also, Nerd Closet Matt Maniacs. Haven't talked about them in quite some time, but August 1st is the drop dead time for pre-order of Series 2. Of course, what is it? WrestleCon exclusive Demolition, something like that. Matt Cardona, Brian Myers, that 2-pack. The Hardy Boys, The Powers of Pain. All those 2-packs, August 1st, your last day to pre-order. I still got to get my order in. I almost forgot about those. Going to need to set a reminder on my phone. But I did enjoy those figures. Those figures aren't for everybody, but I thought they were absolutely amazing. The Steiners and LOD, which we unboxed on the channel. Check it out. And then, of course, we're jumping over to KWK. Of course, Club KWK. I'm not invited to the club. No caller on me today. But Club KWK, KWK with all their retro figures, churning and burning, keeping it going. We did see Bull Nakano. We talked about that last week, of course. But this week, Barry Horowitz ×4 showing us some of the images, some of the pre-production samples. A lot going on in the Barry Horowitz world here with 4 Barry Horowitz figures. How about that? Also, the Berserker up for pre-order right now if you're after that one. So the Berserker running wild as well. A classic Berserker with an homage. Tarif. We know how it goes, Todd McFarlane. The Berserker coming in hot there. And then Grapplers and Gimmicks. We mentioned Regium earlier. Hopefully those are announced fairly soon of what's going on with that. We do got grapplers and gimmicks. Once again, Bastion Booger coming in hot. Of course, we got one from Zombie once upon a time. Now we're getting another one. This one coming with an ice cream bar, a slice of pizza, the kit, and the caboodle with Bastion Booger here. And it's all coming up Mike Shaw these days. It just seems like there, but we do got that one coming. Wonder if he'll be in the Regime line in the future. I guess we'll wait to see there. We also got a second Ahmed Johnson, a bit of a do-over from the first one. Maybe you missed the first one. Now we got Ahmed Johnson again. Be very interesting. Who is going to get to market first? Zombie Sailor Toys or Grapplers and Gimmicks with Ahmed Johnson? I have to imagine we're going to see another one from Grapplers and Gimmicks before Zombie. I can't believe that. That's crazy that Mitch and Grapplers and Gimmicks will get 2 out before Zombie got his out. And we saw Zombies years ago once again. We'll see where that ends up going. But the great Ahmed Johnson race is on right now. We'll see where that goes. We got Ahmed in a different pose here. More of an Ultimate Warrior Series 2 Hasbro pose is what we'll call it. We also saw Friar Ferguson. I almost said Friar Tuck. That's more Robin Hood. Friar Ferguson, once again, coming up Mike Shaw this week. Grapplers and Gimmicks. This is a figure that feels like it belongs in a Grapplers and Gimmicks line. Love the idea of that. Something totally different. But we're not done. We got the 4th of July Macho Man as well. So 4th of July Macho coming. Should have probably been in our hands right before 4th of July would be the time, but it's coming eventually. We'll be ready for it. And then San Diego Comic-Con exclusive this year for Grapplers and Gimmicks. It's Quang and the Godfather repaints 1 of 500 available now. We will be unboxing those on the channel, so stay tuned for that. 2 really good figures there. I enjoyed both of those figures when we unboxed them. We'll unbox these other 2 together as well and do the comparisons that we always do. But a lot coming up from Grapplers and Gimmicks. Going to be interesting to see what other exclusives we get for San Diego Comic-Con, if anything. So we'll have to stay tuned for all of that, of course. And of course, keeping on going, we got to go to our friends over there at Latuni, coming out with all kinds of different figures. It always feels like there's an announcement coming all the time, but we did see Tito Santana and Marty Jannetty in their more Hasbro style. Now, we unboxed one of those of Macho Man on the channel. Check out that review. But we got both of those coming, 1 of 500 on each of those. And then July 24th, we got the LJN style. We got the Macho King, 1 of 600 on this one. Soft goods and a crown as well. It looks pretty good if you're into the Latuni style. It's just there's only so many funds to go around, and July is such an expensive month across the board for a lot of us, getting ready for back to school, getting ready for vacations, San Diego Comic-Con, pre-orders, Walmart Con, everything else under the sun. July is an expensive month. But we do got some Latuni options here around San Diego Comic-Con timeframe. And then Mattel, the biggest wrestling company in the world as far as action figures, really no news this week. We did see July 24th will be the San Diego Comic-Con panel. Trying to guess who could be on that panel this year. For some reason, I feel like it'll be Dominic Mysterio or somebody from the Judgment Day. That's what my gut tells me. We'll see what ends up happening, though. But whoever it is, you know they're going to get a new figure announcement. We'll get a lot of that with it. So we'll see what happens there. The San Diego Comic-Con panel, July 24th. I will be there in attendance. We also saw over the last couple of weeks, Hulk Hogan over at Target, that 3-pack, $99 autograph. Steve Ogier from Mattel, of course, did say it's going to be a sticker. Like Hulk signed all these stickers. They're going to place those stickers on the pack. Not as fun as actually being signed on the figure, but cool if you're looking for a Hulk Hogan autograph at a decent price point. I don't think that's a bad deal at all. $99 for sure for that Hulk pack. A very good pack, a sleeper pack in the pantheon of Hulk Hogan figures, if you ask me. And speaking of sleeping figures, sleeper figure if there ever was one, of course, we bring the boom with Big Justice, AJ, and my all-time favorite, the Rizzler. I wish I could get the Rizzler as a co-host on my podcast as well. But the Rizzler getting U2's figures. Now, Rizzler already got a figure from Pro Wrestling Tees Micro Brawler. I am doing an unboxing of that and the Jeremy Padour. I put those 2 together. Who else is giving you a Jeremy Padour and Rizzler unboxing? Your old buddy Kyle, that's who. But U2s are making those, and I'm tempted to get these, but I would say the 15 minutes of fame of the Costco guys is about up. The Rizzler is still riding strong, though. I saw him in a hotel commercial. I saw him in a Hardee's Carl's Jr. commercial. That's a guy that gets around, the old Rizzler. So we'll see where they go. I guess Big Justice and AJ and Rizzler will be at All In, and I think AJ is having a match, so we'll see where that all ends up going there. But if you're into those, you might want to pick up those U2s, and I might pick up the Rizzler. I might just do that. We'll see what happens. And then last but certainly not least, I have been longing for this day for decades at this point. 30 years? I don't know how long it's been. But I've always wanted this jacket, and Chalkline this week announced they are reissuing the Ultimate Warrior jacket, the old merch stand one from once upon a time. And man, I don't know what I'm going to do, Todd McFarlane. I don't know how I'm going to keep the ladies off me. You know, I got my wife all over me all the time, but now I'm going to have all the ladies in the neighborhood all over me. When I bust out that Chalkline Ultimate Warrior jacket, I shovel the driveway or I go on a brisk walk. The ladies are just going to be following me around with that jacket. There's no way around it, but I am so excited to wear this. I've always wanted to buy an old one from back in the day, but I've always been worried about the fit. You know, those sizes are all over the place back in the 80s and 90s. But I will be buying this Chalkline one, and I'll be wearing it. I'll probably just wear it only on the show. I'll just wear it around the clock. It's the only thing I'll wear. No more extra shirts or anything like that. Just wear the Warrior jacket. But I'm very excited about that from Chalkline. As of filming, no details when it's coming, but the minute it is, I'm picking that bad boy up. Shout out to Chalkline, making dreams come true. Dreams come true. So there it is. That is the wrestling toy news of the week. Everything else will be in a video tomorrow on the traditional toy news time. We talk San Diego Comic-Con, all the other stuff. We talk Todd from the couch and his toes. Check out the toy news tomorrow. Check out all the videos on the channel. There's a lot going on. You guys know that each and every single day. But hopefully you enjoy the toy news. What are you excited for? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget about the giveaways. Check out the podcast. Check out Patreon. Check out YouTube channel memberships. A lot going on all the time. Sir Paul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and of course, the Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com. So for another week of wrestling toy news, could this be a continuing theme? It might be next week too. We'll see what happens. I'm Kyle. You know what I'm doing. I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way into another weekend.
Well, are we going to dance or are we going to play?